Guys, welcome back to my channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow my Twitter at Brianna the Barb, and my email is going to be linked in the description as well as my Twitter if you want to send me any promo or anything like that. So I know you guys have noticed that we're in a different setting this time, and that's because I want to try something new. So instead of the regular story times, I'm going to be doing story times that I found on Reddit. So when I'm doing Reddit story times, I'm most likely going to be in this setting. And then when I'm doing the regular story times, we're going to be in the setting from the previous videos. So let's get into it. So I'm going to be doing the Am I the A-hole? If it can load up. I really should have had all of this set up beforehand. Okay. So, the first story is titled, I changed my apartment locks because my best friend used my bed as a free motel. So, it starts off, look, I need to know if I'm actually the one overreacting here because my entire friend group is telling me I am being too harsh. I had lived alone in my city apartment for 2 years. Since I live alone, my best friend of 8 years has an emergency spare key, just in case I lock myself out or there is a pipe burst. So I went out of town last weekend to visit my parents. When I got back on Monday night, the apartment looked mostly fine, but I noticed some weird things. The thermostat was set to 65, there was a dirty glass in the sink, and my bed sheets were definitely remade differently than how I leave them. I checked my indoor security camera, which only records the entryway. I saw my friend and her new boyfriend letting themselves in on Friday night with suitcases. They stayed the entire weekend. They literally used my apartment as a free romantic getaway because they both live with roommates. They slept in my bed, used my shower, ate my food. I was so disgusted that I called a locksmith and changed the locks that night. I should have known she would do this. Then I texted her and told her she's never getting a key again and that she owes me $100 for a deep clean of my sheets and mattress. Now she's crying and telling everyone I treated her like a criminal over a simple misunderstanding. But to me, the breach of trust is unforgivable. Why is this even a thing? Okay, so to give my input, I feel like there needs to be some more context in this story. Because, I mean, if she had a previous conversation with her friend, it was like, hey, this spare key is only for emergencies, which she stated. I mean, I would feel some type of way, but I wouldn't just automatically change the locks. Like, I would have a conversation with her, let her know, like, hey, like, this isn't acceptable. This is not what I gave you the key for. Like, no, this is not what we're doing. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like if they have been friends, long enough, her friend should automatically understand where she's coming from if they were to have that conversation. Now, as far as her crying and telling everyone that she treated her like a criminal, I just feel like that's just overboard. Okay, so this one is titled, Am I Wrong for Refusing to Let My Brother Borrow My Car Anymore? So, my 27-year-old brother Jake has been borrowing my car on and off for about a year now. He has his own car, a 2016 Civic that runs perfectly fine. But mine is a 2022 Accord, and he always has some reason why he needs mine instead. First, it was, my car is making a weird noise. It wasn't. I drove it myself, and it was fine. Then it was, I have a date and your car looks better. And then it just became this thing where he texts me asking to borrow it for like an hour and it would turn into a full day. The problem started adding up. He'd bring it back with the gas on E every single time, and I'm not exaggerating. Literally every time. I mentioned it twice, and he'd say, oh, my bad, I'll Venmo you, and never did. I started noticing little scratches on the doors and bumper that weren't there before. And when I asked him about them, he said they were probably already there and I just hadn't noticed, which is insane because I wash my car every weekend and I know what it looks like. The breaking point was about 3 weeks ago when I got a letter in the mail about an unpaid parking ticket from a month later. $85 ticket, then it turned into a $140 ticket because of the late fee. I called Jake and he goes, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I was going to tell you." A whole month and he just forgot. So I paid the $140 because because it was in my name and I didn't want it going to collections. And when I asked him to pay me back, he said he'd get to it. And it's been 3 weeks and nothing. I told him I'm done lending him my car. He got weirdly defensive and said I was being dramatic over a parking ticket and that family is supposed to help each other out. I said helping each other out doesn't mean letting someone trash my car and stick me with fines while he has a perfectly working vehicle sitting in his own driveway. He didn't really have a response to that and just left. The part that's making me question myself is that he told our parents, and my mom called me and basically said I need to be more generous because he's your brother and it's just a car. I tried explaining the scratches and the empty tanks and the ticket, and she said those are small things and I should be the bigger person. My dad mostly stayed quiet, but right before they hung up, he said, "You know how your brother is," which I think was supposed to make me feel more understanding. But honestly, it just made me more frustrated because, yeah, I do know how he is. That's literally the whole reason I'm saying no. Jake still has his Civic. It runs, it's fine. He just doesn't want to drive it because it's not as nice as mine. Am I really wrong for cutting him off? Okay, so my opinion, I'm gonna say no, she's not wrong. Because it's not that he doesn't have a car. Like, he clearly has his own car. His own car works just fine. He just likes hers because hers is better. Which it's not a problem with that. The only issue that I would say is the fact that it was the parking tickets, then he forgot about it and it was a late fee, and then she ended up paying the ticket because he claimed he would get to it and never did. He never paid her back for it. The whole scratches and stuff like that. Like, that's doing too much because at that point, why is she going to continue to lend her car out if he's not going to pay the parking tickets, if he's, you know, claiming the scratches and stuff had been there previously and she just never saw it? Like, I don't know. So no, I don't feel like she's wrong because I would have done the same thing. Okay, so the next one that I'm gonna read is titled, "Am I Wrong for Telling My Sister I Won't Watch Our Kids Anymore After I Found a Camera She Hid in My Apartment?" So, my sister, which is 34, has two kids, 4 and 6. She works weekends at a hospital, so I, 27, watch them every Saturday and most Sundays. This has been going on for about 8 months. I don't charge her anything. I actually like hanging out with my niece and nephew. We do arts, crafts, and stuff, and it's fine. Last week, I was moving my bookshelf to clean behind it, and I found this small camera stuck to the back of a picture frame. Like one of those tiny Wi-Fi ones you can buy on Amazon for like 30 bucks. I freaked out at first, honestly, because I live alone and my first thought was that someone broke in. I almost called the police. I texted my sister a picture of it and asked if she knew what it was. She called me and was like, "Oh yeah, I put that there a few months ago," just casually like it was nothing. She said she wanted to be able to check in on the kids while she was at work and see what they were doing. I asked her why she didn't tell me, and she said she knew I'd make it a big deal. Which, yeah, because it is. That camera has been recording my apartment for months, not just when the kids are there. I live there full time. I watch TV in my underwear on that couch. I have people over. She had access to all of that. She says she only ever checked the feed when the kids were there, and I told her I have no way of knowing that. She got defensive and said I was acting like she was some kind of creep when she's just a concerned mother. My mom is on her side saying I should understand because she's a mom and moms worry. And that I'm blowing it out of proportion. I told my sister I'm done babysitting until she apologizes and acknowledges that what she did was a violation of my privacy. She told me I'm being selfish and now she has to figure out childcare last minute. My brother thinks I'm right but won't say anything because he doesn't want drama. I feel like I'm going crazy. Like, am I actually wrong? Am I actually wrong here? She put a camera in my home without my knowledge or permission. That's insane, right? So, do I feel like the sister was wrong? I feel like she was wrong for putting the the hidden camera in her sister's home. Yes. But if the sister were to go over to her house and watch her kids and she had a hidden camera there, then I feel like she would be in the right because we've seen before where parents would hide little cameras in their kids' backpacks, things like that when they go to like daycare, things like that. So we've seen that before. But actually putting a camera in her home, yes. I feel like she was definitely wrong for that because that is an invasion of her privacy, whether she's only checking the feed, whether the kids are there or not. So, um, I had a babysitting, I don't want to say job because I didn't get paid for it, but I used to babysit this girl's son for her. And she had cameras all around her home as well. And she let me know that she had cameras in there, like even before I went to go babysit him, and then but she had them out in the open. Like none of the cameras that she had were like hidden or anything like that. Um, it didn't make me feel uncomfortable or nothing like that because I get that as a mom, you want to make sure that your kids are like being taken care of correctly, that that they're just okay. Like, and I get that. So, no, like it didn't make me feel uncomfortable or anything like that. But for her to put the cameras in her home, yeah, that's a bit much because to me that's saying that you don't trust your sister to watch your kids. Now, I wouldn't say anything if like if for example something happened to one of the kids, like I don't know, they fell down and got hurt and there's no like reasonable explanation as to how they fell, how they got hurt, and the sister is concerned about their safety. So she wants like video evidence of whatever it is that's going on. That okay, whatever. I get that. But if there hasn't been anything going on to the point where the kids are getting hurt, then yeah, no. I feel like that's just I don't want to say weird, but I feel like it's definitely an invasion of privacy. Invasion of privacy? Yeah. Invasion of privacy. Um, hmm. Okay. So here's a different one. Am I wrong for canceling our anniversary trip after my girlfriend invited her parents and siblings without asking me? Okay. I, 27-year-old male, have been with my girlfriend Maya, who is a 26-year-old female, for 4 years. Our anniversary was coming up, so I decided to surprise her by booking a luxury 5-day trip to Hawaii. I paid for everything the flights, a nice resort, and reservations at a couple of high end restaurants. It cost me over $4,000, which I saved up for months. I told Maya about the surprise last week, and she was ecstatic. However, this morning, I received a group chat invite from Maya's mom. The chat was titled Hawaii 2026, and her mom was asking about flight recommendations. I called Maya immediately to ask what was going on. She casually told me that since we were going to such a beautiful place, she thought it would be amazing to turn into a family vacation. She invited her parents, her sister, and her sister's husband. When I asked who was paying for their rooms, she got quiet and said she assumed we could just share our suite or that I could help them out. with the cost since they are tight on money. I was absolutely stunned. I told her the trip was meant to be for our anniversary and I'm not paying for her family. I called the resort and canceled the entire booking and got a partial refund. Maya is now hysterical, calling me selfish, heartless, and saying I humiliated her in front of her family. I feel like my boundaries were completely stomped on, but now her family is texting me saying I ruined their summer. Am I wrong? Okay, so no, I don't feel like he's wrong because the trip was supposed to be for just him and Maya. It wasn't supposed to be for him, Maya, and Maya's family. You get what I'm saying? And even if Maya wanted her family to come onto the trip, I feel like she should have talked to him first. They could have had a conversation about it versus her going ahead and inviting them anyway and then just assuming that they would pay for their rooms and that they would help them out because they're tight on money. First of all, if they're tight on money, they shouldn't be trying to go to Hawaii anyway. That's number one. Like, I just don't get that. Like, my whole thing is unless someone personally invites you onto the trip, which Maya did, not the boyfriend who booked the trip and who paid for everything, but unless he specifically invited them, then they should not be trying to go anyway, if you get what I'm saying. And I don't feel like, okay, I feel like he's wrong for just automatically canceling everything. Like, I feel like he should have had a conversation with Maya and they could have, he could have basically told her like, hey, this is just for us. I like, your family's not invited, I don't want them to come, and I just want it to be you and me. And if she felt some type of way at the end of that conversation and he decided after that that he wanted to go ahead and cancel it, sure, go ahead. But I feel like he shouldn't have just automatically went ahead and canceled everything. And for Maya to say that he humiliated her in front of her family, I feel like she humiliated herself because why are you inviting them on a trip that you did not pay for? And then assuming that your boyfriend or that you would just help them out with their rooms because they're title money. Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Okay, so that's all the stories that we're gonna read today. Um, I'm kind of getting a feel for this whole telling these stories on Reddit. Like, I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. I'm still working out the kinks. I like it. I feel like this video is very short. Like, I'm used to my videos being like, I don't know, 40 minutes, 50 minutes long. And, so for this one to be very short, because right now we're at like 18 minutes. I don't know. But yeah, I'm still working out the kinks. Hopefully I can figure out a way to make this video, I guess, longer in the future. I don't know, honey. I gotta, what do you call it? Put on my thinking hat. Go back to the drawing board. But no, I like this so far, and I'm definitely gonna do more. So yeah, so that's it for this video. Thank you for clicking on this video. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. My email address is also going to be in the description as well as my Twitter in case you want to send me any promo or anything like that. So yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.